favorite tonight.
In order to win that world title, you got to go through the defending champion, Shericka Jackson of Jamaica.
There's never been a sweep in this event at the World Championships, and I think the presence of Shericka Jackson, along with a good lane draw in 7, may prevent the United States from sweeping as we look at the 2019 World Champion, Dina Asher-Smith.
Now 29 years of age, competing in her 7th Outdoor World Championship, making yet another World Final.
A Navia Battle of the United States will be just behind her in 8th. Great lane draw for her. She's going to have to set a personal best to be on the podium. Her personal best stands at 21.9. She's going to have to go a little faster, but I think she's a definite medal threat.
And trying to put herself in the same conversation as Allyson Felix of the United States, winning 3 consecutive World 200-meter titles. Shericka Jackson is in 7th.
She has run more top 10 times in this event than anybody else in the history of the world. Here's the big favorite. Lots of history on the line here. The U.S. hasn't won a world title in this event since Allyson Felix did it way back in 2009. And there are her parents, Melvin and Joanna Jefferson, sitting up in the booth of World Athletics President Sebastian Coe.
Second athlete from Great Britain is the 23-year-old Amy Hunt, their national champion in the 100 meters.
The evergreen Marie-Josée Talleu-Smith will occupy lane 4. She's got silver, she's got bronze from this event, but she hasn't won a medal since 2019.
There are 4 Americans in this women's 200-meter final. Brittany Brown has tasted the podium at the World Championships. Silver in 2019 behind Asher-Smith. Bronze in Paris last year. And Mackenzie Long, because Brown won the Diamond League and Gabby Thomas pulled out due to injury, she got advanced as the 4th member of Team USA, and she also makes the final.
Yeah, she's one of just a few women to run under 22 seconds. Here's the Bahamas' Antonique Strawn. You see that left leg wrapped. She was in some real discomfort after the semifinal, but she clearly has decided to give it a go. That is a tough lane to run all that turn with your leg bandaged in lane 1 as we get back now to the 100-meter world champion, fully focused on the task at hand, but the 2-time defending champ will be to her outside in lane 7, Shericka Jackson.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and please don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, comment, like and share on the same note. So in today's episode, we are going to witness a very breathtaking performance. I'm talking about what really happens when one of the most feared 200-meter runners in the world suddenly finds herself chasing instead of leading. We are going to find about that, and please stay tuned because I'll be back with further insights, and all credit goes to the original broadcaster of this video.
Start appears to be Antonique Strawn. Is this a case of her just taking herself out of this final because she knows that she can't finish it? Yeah, you see the reaction time in lane 1. Yeah, that looks very intentional. I think that Antonique Strawn is trying to take herself out of this race.
And you hear the announcement by the official. False start in lane 1. She comes over to have a brief conversation here. This is her 7th Outdoor World Championship, but she will get a chance to review the data. And the numbers in this case don't lie. as she is out. It's the women's 200-meter final from Tokyo, Japan. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden.
Melissa Jefferson, Sharika Jackson has run in her, and Sharika Jackson.
Jefferson-Wooden in the lead. It's between her and the rest is realized.
Personal best, the fastest time in the world this year for Melissa Jefferson-Wooden. And Amy Hunt pulls a big upset and relegates the defending world champ Jackson to third as she picks up a medal for Great Britain. So with that 21:68, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden now goes into the top 8 of all time. And I told you after the 100, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden is here to stay. She reminds us of that with this.
On your marks. But
100 meters, the final track event of the evening, and there's one good reason why they've left it till last, because in lane 5 is one of the great Polish heroines, Ewa Swoboda, former European indoor champion. Posters everywhere, massive posters of her everywhere across the city of Katowice. She's right in the middle of the 9 athletes as well. They set it up for her. Jenna Prandini, well, she's a great 200-meter runner, has a best of 10.9, the American. Hasn't had a vintage season by her standards. 7th in the London Diamond League before the games, hasn't raced since then. Natasha Morrison of Jamaica, 11-1 this year, but she's a 10.85 athlete. Bas Bitaye of Gambia, she goes in lane 3, semi-finalist in the Olympic Games at 200 meters. Then Tamari Davis, second in Lausanne and second in Monaco just before the game. She's a very consistent racer as the 21-year-old American. Best of 10.8. Yeah, and there is Swoboda. How they love her. Silver medalist at the World Indoors in Glasgow back in March, behind Julian Alfred. And that wasn't a bad person to lose to, seeing as Alfred went on to become Olympic champion. Marie-Josée Talou Smith of the Côte d'Ivoire. I'm sure she races more than anybody on the whole circuit. A prolific racer. 4th in Lausanne, 11.07. Still in good form, the 35-year-old. Daryl Nater of Great Britain. 4th in the Olympic 100, 5th in the 200. So frustrated with those, although she got a silver from the sprint relay. Tia Clayton, 7th in the Olympic Games. The Jamaican silver medalist. Only a youngster, just 20 years old. And Patricia van der Weken of Luxembourg completes the lineup. She's a late addition, I think, because when I travelled here a couple of days ago, I was chatting to a certain Dina Asher-Smith at the airport as we were waiting for our bags. Dina announced yesterday she was pulling out of this meeting. I'm not sure if she's felt a niggle or if she's just not feeling 100%, but Dina flew here to Poland but is not competing tonight. So the meeting record, well, it's a rather impressive one. I'm not sure we'll see an extra one added in this race. 10.66 by Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price of Jamaica a couple of years ago. But 3 Olympic finalists go here. And all eyes on Swoboda in lane 5. There she is, real powerhouse. She's a tremendously quick starter. Look for her to probably lead at halfway and then maybe to get run down. Can she stay ahead, though, to send everyone home on a high? With Mondo, of course, 2 more attempts at that world record in the vault to come. Well, a really good start from Tamari Davis, there, 4th from right. Swoboda's got some running to do here yet. I don't think she's going to win this one. Really good running on the near side, too, from Tia Clayton. Tia Clayton takes it there. On the near side, I think, probably the shortest athlete in the race and the youngest at 20. The Jamaican in lane 8, I think, just nicked that. 10.81. Well, it is super fast. That's the 5th fastest time in the world this year. And for Clayton, it is indeed a new lifetime best by a pretty big chunk. 10.83 she's given, in fact, but it is nonetheless a lifetime best. Swoboda didn't get her usual bullet start from lane 5, wasn't able to get the blood up for the crowd through the first half at least. But Clayton, well, she's similarly small in stature, but boy, did she hold her form well through the second half and just hung on there because it was really tight, Hannah. I don't think there was a lot in it. Let's have a look at the times. 10.83.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once more. And if you are passionate about breathtaking performances, you are at the right place. So what really happens when sprint queen meets an American challenger who refuses to bow down to her reputation? We are about to find out that. The atmosphere was already intense before the athletes even stepped onto the track. This was a field pack with elite talent, but 2 names immediately commanded attention: Sherika Jackson and Melissa Jefferson Wooden. Jackson came into the race carrying a reputation of a champion and a 2-time world champion in the 200 meters, a proven performer on the biggest stages, and an athlete famous for producing devastating speed when the race enters the final straight. But Jefferson Wooden wasn't stepping onto the track simply to admire Jackson's achievement. She came with a different mindset. She came with the mind to challenge, compete, and most importantly, she came to win. The tension was almost impossible to ignore. Amy Hunt was there, and Evia Battle was there. The rest of the field was packed with athletes capable of producing something special. But everyone knew the biggest question: could the American challenger actually take down the Jamaican superstar? The crowd became quieter, the camera focused on starting line, and Jefferson wouldn't prepare herself. There was no more talking. It was time to run. Set, and they were off. The athletes exploded from the blocks. The band immediately begins to separate the field. Jackson looks composed, but Jefferson Wooden is right there. The American isn't giving her anything. As they moved through the bed, the intensity rises. Every athlete knows the same thing: the race will eventually come down to the final straight. And then they took a turn. Here comes the straight. Jackson begins to push. Hunt is fighting also. The rest of the field is desperately trying to stay alive, but suddenly Jefferson won. She accelerated, she opened up and created a separation, and now the America is flying. Jackson is fighting back, but Jefferson Wooden has found another level. The final 50 meters arrive. Jackson digs deep, but Jefferson Wooden is simply too far ahead, and then she crosses the line with 21.68 seconds. Melissa Jefferson has done it once more, and a world-leading time, and just like that, the sprinting world has been put on notice. But now comes the part that makes these results so shocking. The official results appear. Amy Hunt is second, Jefferson Wooden is first, and Shericka Jackson is third. Jackson finishes in 22.18 seconds. Think about that. Shericka Jackson, one of the greatest 200-meter runners of her generation, an athlete who has dominated this event, an athlete who knows exactly how to finish a race, but this time she couldn't catch the American. And that's why Jefferson Wooden's victory feels bigger than an ordinary Diamond League win. She didn't simply beat the field, she defeated a name that carries enormous weight in women's sprinting. And perhaps most importantly, she showed that Jamaica dominance cannot be taken for granted. But hold on. Before anyone starts writing Shericka Jackson off, let's remember who we're talking about. We are talking about one race doesn't erase a champion, it doesn't erase years of excellence, and one disappointing result doesn't suddenly make Jackson ordinary. Absolutely not. If anything, this result could make the rivalry even more dangerous, because now Jefferson knows she can beat Jackson, and Jackson knows exactly who beat her. That changes everything. When a challenger defeats a champion, something happens psychologically. A challenger gains confidence, and champion gains motivation, and suddenly the next race becomes much more than a race. It becomes a battle for pride, for momentum, for supremacy, and perhaps a battle for the future of 200 meters. But just when it looked like America had completely stolen the spotlight, Jamaica had another response. Enters Tia Clayton, and this time the battlefield moved to the 100 meters. Clayton lined up against a strong international field with athletes including Marie-Josie Talu-Smith and Iwa Swoboda. Once again, Jamaica had an opportunity to remind the world that its sprinting strength doesn't depend on one athlete. The athletes prepared, the tension returned, and then gunfires. Clayton exploded from the blocks. Look at the acceleration. She is moving. The field is chasing, but Clayton refuses to surrender. Every stride is powerful. Every step takes her closer to the finish. And final meters arrive. Clayton is still ahead. She drives towards the line, and she did it. Clayton wins in 10.81 seconds. Jamaica has answered. Now there is an important technical detail. The wind reading was plus 2.9 meters per second, and which means the performance was wind assisted and therefore could not account as a legal personal best or record. But that doesn't erase that we witnessed the speed was real, explosiveness was real, and it was a clear message: Jamaica still has weapons. what that is what makes his rivalry so fascinating. America has Melissa Jefferson Wooden, Jamaica has Shericka Jackson. America continues to develop dangerous young talent. Jamaica continues to produce athletes capable of stepping onto the biggest stage, and that means this isn't simply one race. It's because a battle between generations, a battle between sprinting powers, and a battle between athletes who refuse to surrender their places at the top. And perhaps that's why this result is so important. For years, Jamaica has been associated with some of the greatest sprinting performances that the world has ever witnessed, but the United States has never stopped producing elite sprinters. Now the competition appears to be getting even closer. Jefferson Wooden performance has created a new storyline. Can she repeat it? Can she challenge the very best consistently? Can Jackson respond? Can Jamaica's next generation step forward? Those questions are now impossible to ignore, and that's where the real excitement begins. Because imagine the next time these athletes meet, Jefferson Wooden walks onto the track knowing she already has a victory over Jackson. Jackson walks onto the track knowing she has something to prove. The pressure becomes enormous. The cameras are watching, the fans are waiting, and every single stride suddenly means something. Because at this level, 1/100th of a second can separate victory from defeat. So let me know in the comment section, what exactly did we learn from this incredible showdown. First, Melissa Jackson has sent a very powerful message, and it was an announcement that she is ready to challenge the established order. But secondly, we learned something equally important about Shericka Jackson: never count a champion out after one race. Okay, so let me know in the comment section what you think about this race. May you share and comment. Let me know what you think about this race, and thank you so much for watching. See you till the next video.